Once, a young man lived with his parents in a small house. One day, his old father said to him, "You are our only child. You must marry and have children." The father found a kind and beautiful wife for his son. The young man loved her very much. After a year, the wife gave birth to a baby boy. The family was happy, but they were very poor. The father and son worked hard on the farm, while the mother and daughter-in-law worked at home. Still, they never had enough food. One day, the young man said, "Father, our farm is too small for all of us. Let me go to the town and find work. I will earn money and bring it back to you." The father felt sad and said, "You are my only child, and we need you here. But you are right. Go to the town, find work, and bring money. We will wait for you." The young man kissed his son, his wife, and his parents goodbye. He started his long journey to the town. After 2 days, he reached the town and knocked on the door of a big house. "Is there work for me here?" he asked. "No, my friend," the man at the door replied. The young man went to many houses, asking the same question, but the answer was always no. He grew tired and hungry. "What can I do?" he thought. "I must find work soon." At last, he reached a monastery. He knocked on the door, and an old monk opened it. "Please, Father," the young man said, "let me work for you." "How long will you stay?" the monk asked. "For a few months," the young man replied. "Then I must return to my family." The monk began to close the door and said, "I cannot help you. If you work for us, you must stay for a long time." The young man was desperate. "Please don't close the door," he begged. "I promise to stay for a long time." The monk smiled and said, "Come in, my son." The next day, the young man began his work. The monks were kind, and the work was easy. The young man worked hard, and the monks were happy with him. At first, he thought about his family every day. "Is my son well? Are my parents happy? Does my wife have enough food?" Slowly, he began to forget them. He became happy at the monastery. "You are an honest man," the monks said to him. "You can take care of our money. We trust you." Years passed quickly. One day, as he was counting the monastery's money, he heard children laughing outside. He looked up and thought, "Are they happy? Is my son happy?" He stood and looked out the window. "How old is my son now? How long have I been here? 5 years? No, 10 years. The next morning he went to the monks and said, "I have stayed with you for 10 years. I worked hard and never complained. Now, I want to see my family. Please give me the money you owe me." The monks smiled and said, "You are right. You worked hard. Now, you can choose, do you want money or do you want our blessings? The young man frowned and said, I want your blessings, but I want my money too. The monk said, we owe you 400 silver coins. Each blessing costs 100 coins. What will you choose? The young man thought hard. At last, he said, give me your blessings. They are better than money. The first monk blessed him and said, do not leave the road. Go straight. Do not turn left or right. The second monk blessed him and said, you will be a guest soon. Respect your host and accept what he gives you. The third monk blessed him and said, do not get angry. Always think before you act. They gave him 100 silver coins, and the young man left the monastery. On the road, he met two men. Walk with us, they said. We will talk, and the journey will be easier. The young man agreed, and they walked together. Soon, they reached a crossroads. One man said, follow me. This way is better, and turned left. The other man followed him, but the young man remembered the first monk's blessing. I must go straight, he said, and continued alone. Soon he heard shouts and looked back. The two men were being attacked by robbers. The young man walked on safely, thinking, the blessing saved me. He reached a small village and knocked on a door. A man opened it and welcomed him. You can stay here, the man said, but we eat simple food. The young man remembered the second monk's blessing and accepted the food happily. Later, the man offered him a strange box and said, do not open it now. Open it at home with your family. The young man thanked him and continued his journey. When he finally reached home, his wife, son, and parents ran to hug him. They cried with joy. The young man opened the box. Inside, he found gold and jewels. The blessings had brought him home safely and made him rich.